7 single-engine planes that fly like a Gulfstream. When people hear the word Gulfstream, they don't think about just speed. They think about calm, stability at altitude, effortless cruise, the feeling that the airplane is doing the work, not the pilot. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people who admire a Gulfstream will never own one. Not the Gulfstream G800, not the Global 8000, not the Falcon 10X. But that doesn't mean you can't experience that kind of flying, because there are single-engine airplanes, yes, single-engine, that deliver a surprisingly similar feeling. Not the same prestige, not the same flight levels, but the same confidence, smoothness, and command. If you're a senior pilot, if you're a newer owner, if you're dreaming of serious cross-country flying without stepping into jets, this video is for you. Stay with me. Because some of these airplanes quietly change how people think about single-engine flight. And as we go, I want you to ask yourself one question. What does flying like a Gulfstream really mean to you? Tell me in the comments as we go. Before we start the list, let's define the idea. Flying like a Gulfstream doesn't mean flying fast only. It means stable at altitude, predictable in turbulence, pressurized or high altitude capable, designed for travel, not local hops. An airplane that reduces workload instead of increasing it. With that in mind, let's begin. 1. Cirrus SR-22. Let's start with the airplane that changed expectations. The Cirrus SR-22. This airplane doesn't look like a Gulfstream, but the experience? Surprisingly close. Side yoke ergonomics, advanced avionics, smooth, stable cruise at altitude. The SR-22 doesn't feel busy, it feels managed. For many owners, especially those coming later into aviation, this is the first airplane that feels like a system, not a machine fighting you. And that's very Gulfstream-like. You're not wrestling the airplane, you're supervising it. Ask yourself this, is confidence more important than raw performance? Leave your answer below. This matters. 2. Mooney M20U Ovation Ultra. This is where seriousness begins. The Mooney M20U Ovation Ultra doesn't chase comfort through size. It does it through efficiency. Long wings, high cruise speeds, remarkable stability once trimmed. Moonies reward disciplined flying, and once settled at altitude, they feel locked in. Very little hunting, very little drama. Owners often describe the cruise phase as jet-like, not because of speed, but because of how settled everything feels. Let me ask you something honestly. Would you trade cabin width for absolute efficiency? Put your thoughts in the comments. The Piper Malibu, PA-46. Now we enter true executive territory. The Piper PA-46 Malibu is where the comparison to jets stops being poetic and becomes practical. Pressurization changes everything. Suddenly, weather feels distant, altitude feels comfortable, fatigue drops dramatically. This airplane was designed for long legs, high altitudes, and serious travel. Many Malibu owners say the same thing. This is the first airplane where I stopped thinking about flying and started thinking about the trip. That is pure Gulfstream philosophy. Do you think pressurization is a luxury or a safety feature? Let's discuss it below. 4. Cessna TTX. This one is often misunderstood. The Cessna TTX is not forgiving, but it is precise. At altitude, the airplane feels clean, aerodynamically honest, extremely stable when flown correctly. This is an airplane that rewards planning and discipline. And once you're in cruise, it has that same Gulfstream-like feeling of slicing through the air with minimal effort. Not for everyone, but for the right owner, deeply satisfying. Here's a question worth asking. Do you prefer airplanes that forgive mistakes or demand excellence? Your answer says a lot. 5. Diamond DA50RG. Now, let's talk about refinement. The Diamond DA50RG feels like it was designed by people who studied business jets closely. Ergonomics matter here. Visibility matters. Workload management matters. The airplane feels modern without feeling overwhelming. Smooth control harmony. Excellent high-altitude manners. A cockpit that feels more like a flight deck than a panel. Many senior pilots describe it as mentally relaxing, and that's a compliment. Is cockpit stress something you actively think about when choosing an airplane? If not, maybe you should. 6. Epic E1000GX. Now we cross a line. The Epic E1000GX is no longer pretending to be anything else. This is a turboprop with jet ambitions. Pressurized, high altitude, fast, but more importantly, solid. Once you're up high, the airplane feels unbothered by weather that would wear you down in lighter machines. That sense of mass and authority? That's where the Gulfstream comparison becomes very real. Here's the question. At what point does single engine stop being a limitation and start being a philosophy? I'd love to hear your thoughts. 7. Daher TBM 960. We'll end with the benchmark. The Daher TBM 960. If there is a single-engine airplane that truly embodies the Gulfstream mindset, this is it. Speed with stability, automation with oversight, power without chaos. TBM pilots often say the same thing. The hardest part is remembering I'm still flying a single. At altitude, in cruise, the airplane feels composed, authoritative, and unapologetically capable. This is not a stepping stone. This is a destination. Now let's pause, because this video isn't telling you to buy bigger, or faster, or more expensive. It's asking you to think about how you want flying to feel. Do you want to manage chaos or supervise systems? Do you want to fight turbulence or fly above it? Do you want excitement or confidence? There is no wrong answer, but there is an honest one. Here's something many senior pilots realize later than they wish. The joy of aviation changes with time. Early on, it's about learning. Then it's about capability. Eventually, it's about comfort and clarity. That's why these airplanes matter. They respect your time. They reduce fatigue. They turn flying into transportation without killing the romance. So let me ask you directly, which of these airplanes feels the most Gulfstream-like to you, and why? Or maybe you disagree entirely. Either way, say it in the comments. This is how good aviation conversations start. Flying like a Gulfstream isn't about the logo on the tail. It's about how calm you feel at 25,000 feet, how quiet the workload becomes, how much trust you have in the machine beneath you, and sometimes one engine is all it takes. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next one.